So there's a program in Saudi Arabia called Saudization, or the Nitiqat, which is a system mostly implemented by the Ministry of Labor, which is designed with the goal of trying to increase the employment by Saudi nationals in Saudi Arabia. This comes from kind of a top-down concern that there are a huge number of young people that don't have jobs or won't have jobs. There's something like 70% of the population is under age 26 or so. And so there's a job shortage, and there's a recognition of a need to have more of these people enroll. So what this system does, it has a kind of a color-coded system of companies in the green or red or whatever, and they will be rewarded or penalized based on how well they comply with these quotas, which are based on industry type and other factors on how many Saudi nationals they need working for the company. So it's an interesting process. As sort of a free market economic advisor there, and somebody who cares a lot about Saudi Arabia and focuses on Saudi Arabia, I have some concerns about it. First of all, it doesn't hurt me either way. I don't work for a Saudi company. I'm not there full time. I do spend a great deal of time there, but it is not working for a Saudi company. The drawback of the Saudization program is that at its core, it is making a gamble. And the gamble is that the government and government bureaucrats and politicians will know better how to grow the economy than the trading families and the other people who are really providing the jobs. And I've met probably almost all of the heads of the major trading families, certainly the majority of them, and I know people at pretty much all of them. And these are some of the smartest, most entrepreneurial people that you'll meet anywhere in the world. They are the good trading families who are great at what they do, and these are household names in the region, and the leaders are household names. These people really know how to create jobs and how to do business. So the drawback of this system is that it tells these people what to do. And whenever you're telling them what to do, you're betting that this trading family head doesn't know best how to grow the business and build jobs. And so that's a drawback. The other drawback is there's always whenever you pass new laws, there's a law of unforeseen consequences. So with this, you see things like that almost work like our mafia in New Jersey, where you have no-show jobs, people that don't really show up to the jobs, fake Saudi employees who actually stay at home playing Xbox and pretend they're on the books. You have companies, I know one, a high-end company who complied immediately. They just had all of their employees reclassified, all their expats reclassified to UAE and move. And they left a skeleton core staff of a few Saudis, but they lost a lot of their highest-end expertise, and now that business is going to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So there are drawbacks like that. There's fraud and other things that happen. It also takes a good deal of time, effort, and money to enforce this, and it penalizes a lot of companies. There's 100,000 companies that are owned by Saudis that are small businesses that are going to be penalized by this because you're basically telling them to do something they wouldn't have normally done. The best people to grow businesses are the ones who've grown the business, who've done it successfully. And those people know who they need to hire. If they need to hire there was one company that was doing something in the translation field, let's pretend it was Japan. They needed to hire somebody who could speak Japanese. And there's not very many Saudis who speak Japanese, so they obviously would look to a Japanese national. Companies know who they need. If they think they need an American or a Brit or a Japanese person, they know best. Whenever you have government working to second guess that, it's a drawback. It's something you have to be cautious of. So what the aim can be accomplished. There are some other ways to do this which still make sense. And one thing would be to focus on the strengths, to really help those companies do what is working best. Another thing is to recognize there isn't a huge overwhelming demand for these Saudis to try and get the jobs. You don't go to a hotel and see Saudis coming in and saying, boy, I've given my resume 10 times, I still don't have a job. I keep sending my resume out, nobody's calling me back. That's really not the case. So you have a supply and demand issue as well that has to be addressed. But you could focus on the strengths. One of the things that worked really, really well in this process was getting rid of some regulation. There used to be a regulation that women couldn't work in lingerie stores. All kinds of drawbacks of that. Other women don't want to buy lingerie from a man. They, certainly can't be in the changing room or discussing, intimate apparel when a man is there, especially in a conservative culture like Saudi Arabia. So they changed that law. They allowed women to work in the stores. Instantly, huge number of women got these jobs. So reducing regulation is a great way to increase jobs. And so what I would suggest to the government, if they were looking at alternatives, is try and find ways to support the trading families and support the people who are creating the most jobs, figure out a way to help them do what they're best at. Let them do what they know how to do, which is bring more people in and increase that demand by doing it. So those are some thoughts. It's a complex issue. I've written about it some more on my blog and things like that, but that's kind of the basics of the Saudization process.